So what do we have here? Radical degree 6 from 729 x to power 8. Well, with x to power 48. With x to power 48, it's going to be easy. We take 48 and divide by 6, and we get x to power 8. Let me put here x to power 8. But what do we have in front? Degree 6. So for whoever has iPhone or the others also, you can try. I am typing 729. 1 second. 729. And then I take radical degree y from x. Okay. Put here, click that button, and then I push 6. And I got 3. All right, let's see. 3 to power, which means 3 to power 6, we get 729. So again, there are all different radicals you have on iPhone's calculator. You are choosing radical degree y from x. So first I typed 729 and then push that radical degree y button and then put degree 6. And that's how I calculate it. Okay. Square root, negative square root 25. Since negative is outside, it doesn't cause any problem. We just leave it negative out and put 5. Next one. Number 10. Okay, let's do that. We have degree 3. Radical degree 3, which means from negative 8, it's going to come out what? Negative 2, right? 2 to power 3 is 8. And then we have x to power 6, which is 6 divided by 3. We get 2, which is going to be x squared. Okay, and we have y to power 9. So 9 divided by 3, we get power 3. And the last question. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. Let's see. Square root, we have square root, right? X to power 6 over 36 y squared. What am I going to do? First, taking square root of x to power 6. 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3, right? X to power 3. Okay, and then I click forward slash that create the fraction, and then square root of 36 is 6, right? 6 squared is 36. And y squared, it's going to be only y, right? Why? Because 2 divided by 2. And you got it. So we are done, and I'll see you in next video. Hello everybody, we are going to work on chapter 7.1, which is radicals and radical expressions. So what do we have? Question number 1, square root of 144. Square root of 144. Square root of 144 is 12. I already know by heart because I used it so many times. But you can use your calculator, put it square root of 144 and get the answer. Okay. Next one. 1 over 64. So to solve it, 1 over 64, we can separate them. Let me show you here. One over 64, I can rewrite the same way as a 1 over 64, just like that. Okay, which means square root of 1, it's going to be 1, and square root of 64, it's going to be 8. So 1 over 8, and that is going to be our answer. Next question. 16x to power 8. Okay, let me explain this. How we're gonna take it off? X to power 6. Okay. Square root 16x to power 8. When we are saying square root, we understand here degree 2. We just don't put, because square, that means degree 2. So square root of 16, that's the same way I can rewrite. Square root 16 times square root x to power 8. Well, we know that square root 16 is 4. 4 squared is 16, right? X to power 8, since we are taking square root of power, remember what do we have? When we have x to power 4, power to power, what do? We multiply, right? 4 times 2 is 8. Now, to get a square root opposite operation, we need to divide. We don't take literally square root from the power. We divide by 2. Because, like I said, if I have 3 to power 2, I'm raising to power 2 and getting 9. But x to power 4 to power 8, I'm multiplying exponents, which means to get opposite operation, take square root, I have to divide, and it's going to be x to power 8 over 2, right? Which I'm going to put is 4. And I get 4x to 4. What's wrong? It's power 6. Okay, I'm sorry. So it's going to be 3, right? 6 divided by 2 is 3. All right. Next question. See, we have cubic radical of 1000, all right? Cubic radical of 1000. What we are going to do here? So let me explain something. When I have square root of 16, that means this degree 2 shows that I have to have 2 of the bases. 4 times 4. 16, I can put 4 times 4, right? And we have 2 of them, right? So, because it's 2 shows we have 2 of them. So 1 will come out. Now we have, let me move this a little bit away. Now in this case, 1000, that means I have degree 3. So I need to have 3 of the bases at the same time, meaning 1000 I can put 10 times 10 times 10, right? That means I have to have 3 of them, so 110 will come out. Okay? Or otherwise, also, I can solve this way. 1000 I can represent as 10 to power 3, correct? Right? And then remember what we do? 3 divided by 3, right? This 3 divided by this 3, and I'm getting 1, which is going to be 10 again. Either way. So this degree shows how many times the same base you're going to have. If I would have degree 5, then I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would have 110 comes out. If I would have only 3, then I couldn't take anything out. Okay? So in our case, we have 10. Next one. Okay. Cubic radical of negative 8x to power 6. All right. Cubic radical negative 8x to power 6. Now, is this normal to have negative? Let me remind you one thing. If I have negative 2, okay, let me take negative 3. Negative 3 to power 2, it's going to be positive 9. But if I take negative 3 to power 3, I'm getting negative 27, correct? Because 3 times 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, you end up with negative 27. Therefore, or if I take negative 3 to power 4, it's going to be what? 81, positive 81. But if I take negative 3 to power 5, it's going to be negative 1 times 3 is 3, 2, 4, 3. Okay? So pay attention what we have. When we have even degrees for negative base, we are getting the positive answer, right? Positive, positive. But if we have the odd power, odd degree for negative base, we are getting negative answer. So what does that mean? Which means if I do opposite operation, if I put radical degree 5, negative 2, 4, 3, I'm going to get negative 3. Why? Because 5, negative 243, negative 243, I can represent as a negative 3 to power 5. And then negative 3 to power this 5 divided by this 5, right? And gonna get 1. All right? And the same way, negative 3 to power 3. Now we have negative 8x to 6. Negative 8 to power of radical degree 3, it's going to be, I can write down like negative 2 to power 3, correct? Negative 2 to power 3, I will get negative 2. How about x to power 6? X to power 6, it's going to be much easier, because I'm going to do 6 divided by 3, and I'm getting x to power 2, negative 2x squared. Negative 2x squared. Question number 6, what do we have? Okay, now here we have negative the out of square root, out of the radical degree 4, which has nothing to do with 10,000 of radical degree 4, which means that negative is going to stay, be it radical 5 or radical 3, 4, radical 8, doesn't matter, or radical 7. This negative has nothing to do with this radical. Okay, how many zeros we have underneath? 1, 2, 3, 4, which means I can represent 10 to power 4, which is going to be purely 10 with no any other degrees will come out. Radical degree 4, from negative 1. Well, since we have even number, that means that we cannot have negative in the base, right? Because we can't get negative 1 from underneath of radical. Therefore, we said not a real number. But if we would have 5, at the radical degree 5, then negative 1 will come out. Moving to next question.